guys, welcome back to my channel. You've probably clicked on this video because you are a new beginner to crochet. You've perhaps tried one or two crochet projects and you're looking for the next thing, or you have no idea about crochet and you are basically finding that one project that you could perhaps dip your toes into and give it a go. So you've pretty much stumbled on the correct video, and I'm going to be telling you some of the crochet projects that I think are perfect for beginners. So if you want to see them, then stay tuned. Number one, what is one thing that I would recommend that if you're a beginner crocheter, what could you crochet? A granny square. Why, you may ask? A granny square is so easy to. I'm not talking about those funky granny squares like those daisy granny squares or all of these beautiful granny squares that are intricate and detailed and have multiple stitches. I'm not talking about those ones. No. This is not an intermediate. This is not a expert or no. This is for the beginner. If you go ahead and start with your usual simple granny square, you will succeed in life. The thing that makes a granny square so good for a beginner is because, number one, you're creating just this one consistent shape. You know, you're not kind of venturing out into other corners and shapes and angles and kind of decreasing or increasing. You're not doing any of that. All you are doing is having a consistent, repetitive motion and creating that square. Okay, number one. Number two, you're using just a simple granny square cluster stitch. And it is so easy to do. It allows you to get to grips of the double crochet stitch. You don't want to complicate things. You don't want to incorporate multiple stitches as a beginner. You want to kind of go in and do something so simple. And the thing with a granny square, which I just love so much, is that one granny square can literally be transformed into multiple projects. So I think as a beginner, a granny square is number one on the list for me personally. The next thing that I'd say would be a coaster. Now, again, a coaster is very similar to the granny square in the sense of it's a similar size if you're going for a small granny square, of course. Now, I think coasters are just, again, so easy to make. And I think the most important thing for me when it comes to beginner crochet and just starting crochet out or just giving crochet a go is just understanding or getting used to handling the crochet hook and, you know, making simple stitches and just focusing on that. I'm not necessarily thinking about the outcome or the exact design or that kind of thing. I think that's more intermediate, or that's once you've kind of gotten to terms with crochet. And that's why I recommend projects like this, because you're not necessarily focusing about kind of the end goal. It's more of I'm practicing my stitches and I'm just going to see what works and what happens. So yeah, I definitely would say a coaster is very good. You know, again, you can do all sorts of colors and you can just go ahead, focus and pick one stitch. It could be a double crochet stitch, it could be a single crochet, it could be a triple crochet, any stitch. Just take one stitch, just take one stitch and focus and use that to create that coaster. It's just repetitive, and that's what you want. You want something repetitive because that way it will stick in your brain, rather than starting out with something that's constantly changing and constantly doing different things, because then that will not allow you as a beginner to take it in, and also it will just overwhelm you, and that's not what we want. Absolutely not. The next thing that I would recommend as a beginner crocheter would be blankets. Now, you might think, blankets? Are you out of your mind? The patience, the stress, the long-term project, that is not for me. I understand where you're coming from. I really do. But if you think about it, the one thing about a blanket, it's that continuous, ongoing thing that you're constantly doing. And again, because this is beginner level, I recommend that you just start off with one stitch. I know you're itching to kind of do all of these creative stitches and just do something amazing. I know that time will come. Just wait. Just wait. It will come. It will come. You just need to start somewhere. And I think with a blanket, now I'm not talking about a blooming king size blanket. No, I'm not talking about that. You could literally aim for a baby blanket. Aim for a baby blanket, because again, it's still a blanket, but you are then taking those skills that you had learned from the granny square and the coasters and all of these little things to now using that to then create something a bit more bigger. It will allow you to kind of see your skills coming to life in something that's getting bigger, and just again building on that skill of using your crochet hook and creating those stitches. And again, with each stitch you do, you're getting better and better and better at it because you've done it once, you're doing it again, and you're going to keep doing it, which will then allow you to become comfortable and confident with that stitch. So yeah, blankets are definitely a good shout for sure. Next thing that I would say, you know, would be beanies. I actually created a beanie for one of my first crochet projects actually. I'm not going to lie to you, when you see someone crocheting a beanie, you've just seen them that they've created some, that looks intimidating. That looks like, oh, she's definitely put a lot of effort into that. It's more of, it looks like there's a lot to it, but it's not. It's literally just a simple kind of like a rectangle shaped style type thing, and you're doing the same stitch back and forwards, and then all you need to do is go boom, stitch, and then see it, boom, 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 boom. What I'm trying to say is it is a very good beginner project, and there is a reason why. Now the thing with the beanie, or just kind of a project of that style, is I actually struggled a lot when it came to crocheting a beanie or that kind of project, because again, when you are starting from one end and you're going to the other end, you kind of need to go back and forwards, right? And the one thing that oh my god, thinking about it really rages me, because I still do it now. I have issues when it comes to counting my stitches. Apparently I can't count. I'm not surprised though, because I'm really bad at maths, so that's probably the reason why. But it really teaches you to count your stitches, and I think that is something that you really need to get down and be aware of in your early crochet beginner journey days, whatever you want to call it, because that is one thing that I definitely lacked, and I therefore am still lacking today because of it. So if you are gonna take something away from this video, just understand that counting your stitches is actually important, and don't wing it like me, because the amount of times like, yeah, like I've definitely done the right stitches, like it looks okay, like I feel like I'm doing the right thing. No, because then you have to then go ahead and unweave the entire project, and you're sitting there pulling your hair out of your head, and that's not what we want as a beginner crocheter. No. Sorry guys, I don't want to scare you or anything, but yeah, that's what I really like about the beanie kind of project, or a project that allows you to go from one end to the other, because then it allows you to then count your stitches and understand the importance of that, because then you don't want some wonky Christmas tree. That's not what we want, okay? Yeah. Last one, because I don't want to overwhelm you with so many different types of projects, because again, that's just too much. You know, you want to have a good solid 4, 5, 6 projects that you've got down and you can actually go ahead and take away and do. I don't want to overwhelm you with like 50 crochet ideas, because that's not what I'm about to do. Last one for you guys, that would be a crochet scarf. Now you've got 2 ways to go about it. Okay, one way you've got is, you know how we said the first crochet project would be to crochet a granny square? Yes, now take that, you know, you've got that skill, you know how to create a crochet granny square, good on you. We're going to take that crochet granny square, and we are now going to create about 15-20 of them, however many you want, and we're going to join them up, and you've got a granny square scarf. Look how amazing that was. We have just taken this granny square, you know, our first crochet project, and you know, we were stressed out and we're diving into the crochet world. Once you've mastered that granny square, you are going to create multiple of them, then transform that into a scarf, which is amazing. The other side of it is crocheting a scarf in the sense of doing either a double crochet scarf, the back loop stitch. Again, just choose one stitch and creating rows and rows and rows until you have the desired length and width of your scarf. Now, what does that teach you? That teaches you, again, the importance of keeping your rows straight and understanding that actually the counting of stitches part is so key and crucial, but also the importance of turning your work every time you do a row, just to ensure you've got consistency and everything looks neat. 10 out of 10 from me as a beginner project. I really hoped that these crochet project ideas for beginners was really helpful to you. I'm sure that they will be, and I really hope that you guys, you know, give these a go, because I think they're strong projects for you guys to get yourself stuck into. If you want to see more videos like this, please let me know, and let me know how you are starting that crochet, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.